The high winds moving in, creating high fire danger as well, as we've been warning. And Xcel is once again pulling the plug for areas of northern Colorado where the wind is expected to be especially strong. Take a look at this map. It's the areas where Xcel is looking to shut off power as part of the shutoff plan. That includes parts of Fort Collins. Company says about 9,000 customers will be impacted.
And this shutoff mirrors a similar situation last month, just not as big, not quite as big. 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen is joining us now to talk more about Xcel's plan this time around. It's sounding very familiar.
Yeah, and this storm is comparable, maybe a little bit more common, but the fire weather warning is certainly valid. Now, in fire weather conditions like we'll see tomorrow with 70 mile per hour gusts, maybe 75, we could see some extreme fire behavior. But, we average about 24 fire weather warnings on the Front Range here every year. Are we okay with having our power shut down 24 times a season? Well, that's the question. We asked Xcel Energy that the last time that we had this in December when they had that preemptive power shutdown, and their answer, as far as the thresholds, was pretty clear and sensible.
That criteria and what we're really looking at is we're looking at wind speed, particularly wind speed that is in the 99th percentile or 97th percentile or higher along the Front Range. And it also includes relative humidity and fuel moisture index.
Okay, so there you go. Very clear answer. They're looking for that 97 percentile, which means basically that a storm that comes around about 3% of the time. So very unusual storm. So let's compare that storm in December to this storm that we have right now. So the one in December was very unusual to begin with because it was a 1-2 punch. Remember, Wednesday the 17th and Friday the 19th, 2 wind events. The forecast was 80 to 100 miles per hour and the humidity as low as 12%. Now this time around, we have wind gusts up to 75%, 10 to 20% humidity. Now this is still a daunting forecast, a very hazardous condition, but a little bit more common. We'll probably see forecasts like that maybe 6 or 7 more times by the end of April. So a little bit more of a common situation. And when it comes to that forecast, let's take a look at that. Now, these forecasts like to hone in on very specific times and places where the wind covers a lot of area and changes every minute. So when you're looking at a forecast like this, you see 47 mile per hour gusts here at Fort Collins at 2:30, but maybe at 2:32, just 10 miles north of Fort Collins, maybe in Wellington or something like that, you could have a 65, 70 mile per hour gust. So there's a lot of difference in the winds, but we have enough information with this wind forecast to say that the threshold this time around is going to be in that 65 to 75 mile per hour range and not the 80 to 100. So a little bit more common forecast, but when it comes to damaging winds, 60 miles per hour is the criteria that meteorologists use for warning. So the science of physics say that 58 miles per hour is a damaging wind. It can bring down large tree limbs, even some small trees or some damaged trees. And I have been told by several power company experts that they have seen winds of 60 miles per hour snap or bring down power lines. So there's certainly enough information there to warrant some concern, but the problem is how often and what threshold. I think those 9,000 people that there in Larimer County deserve to know what the thought process is behind that power outage. And so far, guys, we have not heard from Xcel about what the specific things that they've mentioned this time around.